his pro football debut.
I don't ever remember a rookie that has been drafted outside of the first round taking the league by storm.
Sanders throws, touchdown, putting on a show here in the second quarter.
I wasn't nervous, it was just getting comfortable. Well, I say I'm comfortable being uncomfortable.
He didn't look too uncomfortable to me. What an encouraging preseason debut for Shedeur Sanders, whose Brown fans hope can be the guy for a franchise that's used 40 different starting QBs since returning to the NFL in 1999. That's 10 more than the next closest team over that span. Today, Shedeur's head coach, Kevin Stefanski, was asked about his quarterback situation.
I'm not going to get into reps, Mary Kay, other than to say we're going to continue to mix these guys, and also say I'm trying to be we are trying to be very intentional about our quarterback's development, and I'm really pleased with where both our young guys are. They're all working very hard. They're all taking coaching and understanding that this is a progression for them.
Live and in the flesh, Dan Orlovsky. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I like you singing your own welcome back song.
Thank you.
Start a duet.
Thank you.
All right, so the most anticipated, it feels like, preseason debut has come and gone. And if you looked at social media for Shedeur Sanders, it was either put him in the Hall of Fame or it's just preseason. You're very reasonable. What did you see from him?
Very impressed. I thought great communication, great control, and then played really fast. And those were some of the things that, you know, specifically the playing fast wasn't necessarily a trademark of his at Colorado. 5 guys to the line of scrimmage. He puts up his left hand to tell the receiver, no blitz concerns, okay? So great communication. And then the control of what do the safeties do? One drops down backside, that means I have to hold him for a second. That window for that inside slant is small, it gets condensed, but if he doesn't hold that safety, that's a bang bang play. Outstanding. Backed up, you see the communication again. Stick the left hand up, tell the receiver, don't worry about any blitz. This is outstanding when it comes to playing fast. Safety, once again, drops down backside. He's got an in route at the bottom of the screen. This is an aggressive and courageous throw. Corners underneath, safety over the top. Out now in stride. Outstanding ball placement. His touchdown pass, the second one, was my favorite because he's going to peek to the top of the screen because he wants to throw the tight end. This is reaction. He sees that linebacker blitz like, okay, now it's remain. Remain a passer as you leave the pocket and then rip that ball down in the red zone, belt buckle or lower. It happened quickly for him. Very impressed. No question to me that he has warranted, earned, and deserved more meaningful reps with at least the 2s, if not the 1s. If I was the Browns, I would want to get him reps against the starting defense with my starting offense.
Yeah, great mobility too, which again is not necessarily a trademark.
Oh, that was kind of like a knock.
100%. He was moving around. He does need to learn how to get rid of the ball. By the way, both of his passes, touchdown passes on Friday, came with a time to throw of 3+ seconds. There were only 2 games all of last season where a Browns quarterback had 2 pass touchdowns in the same scenario. I feel like maybe Cam Ward is like the least talked about #1 overall pick. Like,
hey man, it finally happened. Shedeur got on the field. You watching the game, Chad, there's a lot of Shedeur Sanders fans. What did you think of his first outing?
Listen, all the talk and the narratives and the storylines and whatever you want to say, sooner or later that ball's about to snap. And that young man we watched at Colorado was one of the best football players in the nation, is now looking like one of the best football players in the nation at another level. That's what it was. I knew the collusion and all the stuff, like I said, you want to go through. You saw what Shedeur Sanders was capable of. We all knew what Shedeur Sanders was capable of, and he's gonna show that he should start there. Flacco's there, Kenny Pickett was hurt, that little itty bitty boy from Oregon, whatever his name is.
Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel, he's a itsy bitsy spider. No. Shedeur Sanders is a ball player, fellas, and I love that he went out there. You can say what you want about that man. Sooner or later, that ball's about to snap in the middle of that field between that 100 and that 53, and we're gonna see what football is about, and Shedeur showed.
Yeah, no, Shedeur showed up. Well, in the words of Denny Green, he is who we thought he was. Yeah. This is the same person we've seen the last 4 or 5 years, from Jackson State to Colorado, always poised. I'm not just talking about on the field, he's always poised off the field. The interviewers, the reporters, they try and rattle him. You get all this stuff in social media. He's always Shedeur Sanders, smiling, respectful, knowledgeable, and that's what you get. Deion did an amazing job of not only raising just a beautiful young man in all capacity, but even more so, a football player who will not flinch. Shedeur got out there, after all those injuries you mentioned, to go from 4th on the depth chart to starting in the first preseason game, it was said earlier in the week, it was a setup. I think it was a setup. It was a setup for an opportunity to succeed and excel. And shedeur, he grasped it. He took full advantage of it, right? And he went out there, he made all us happy. We're gonna always continue to root for him, like I say, man. So 1 down, 20 more to go this year or whatever. So the work's just getting started, man, but the opportunity presented itself and he stole it, and man, just gonna keep going.
Yeah, there's a difference in between being humble and being humbled. Like the world tried to humble shedeur Sanders, the drafters and the scouts and the evaluators, but he just used it to be humble in the way he went about work, the composure, the poise, and the way that he's handled his situation, being the 4th quarterback throughout this, he's not ruffled any feathers. He's shown that he could be a leader. He's shown that he understands he has to earn it. He's told Deion, hey, you gotta wait. And the people talking about whether or not this opportunity is a setup, they don't understand ball. There is no success without an opportunity. And there is no such thing as luck when they say preparation meets opportunity. But this man's been preparing for this moment his entire life. And think about the amount of shedeur Sanders jerseys that have been sold. Think about the way people watch that game. Those are not Cleveland Browns fans. Those are shedeur Sanders fans. And the owner, Jimmy Haslam, said, you know what? Andrew Berry made this pick. And if I'm Andrew Berry, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman, right? Because we all knew who this man was. We all knew what he'd accomplished. We all knew what he was made of. And for him to go out there on a night that he wasn't supposed to be the starting quarterback, on a night where he hadn't gotten the reps with those people he'd be working with, and show out, showed exactly why he should have been drafted earlier. But this is what it is, man. Sometimes, man, you got to have a setback for the get back to be historic. And I believe that's what shedeur Sanders showed us in his first night under center as a Cleveland Brown.
Browns.
Yes, let's get to it.
Number 12.
Yeah, he's good.
Shedeur Sanders. Hopefully that wipes out Josh Gordon, anyone else who's wearing 12, at least for the moment.
Colt
Are we
McCoy,
already to
you want to go down to 12?
McCoy,
Yeah,
a good one.
Yeah, he was all right.
You saw it live. You called it, and you've been around that team throughout training camp here. Shedeur Sanders' opportunity comes in very unusual fashion. It's literally because everyone else is hurt, except Joe Flacco, who is 40 and might get hurt at any second. So let's roll Shedeur out there. It looked good to the eye test. I'm not an expert. We had Chase Daniel on yesterday breaking down the X's and O's. He went here to here in this read. I just know watching it, the stuff you heard, the good stuff about Shedeur Sanders in college, which is he is going to be poised in the pocket. He is going to be very accurate with the football. He's going to be tough when he needs to take a hit. That stuff showed up. Yeah. And it didn't look too big for him.
He looked the part, and you're right. I mean, that's a great way to say it. It didn't look too big for him. It looked like the guy we saw at Colorado, which was amazing accuracy, pretty good pocket presence. We saw the good and the bad. Like, we saw the very subtle movement on that second touchdown to Caden Davis, where let's give credit to an undrafted rookie running back in Amani Marshall from App State, who, you know, crossed the face of the quarterback, got the blitzer, but shedeur didn't. That's Chase Daniel.
Amani Marshall in your sleep tonight.
Amani Marshall, 39. But he didn't flee the pocket. He just had the subtle movement, reset the pocket, and threw a dart into the end zone where only his guy can catch it. Shedeur Sanders is the, statistically, most accurate quarterback in Division I history. Okay? Only 2 years. But those two numbers...
That's 70% completion guy.
Unbelievable. And you saw that there. He also, we saw some of the bad, and the thing that always people point out at Colorado, and we have seen in the NFL now, is him drifting backwards and kind of running around.
Goes 30 yards backwards,
you can't
and ditches
do that.
the ball. Right.
There's a great moment on the sideline there that the Browns caught up with. They're mic'd up, and he was mic'd up, in which he was saying to Myles Garrett on the sideline, like, hey, I would love to do that against you. And he's like, yeah, you're a nice kid. Don't do that to me, basically. Like, you don't need that from me. I'm coming after you. They've tried to coach that out of him. You saw that in the game, but you saw a guy that looked the part. The moment was not too big for him. And to be fair, he hadn't gotten a lot of reps. He is fourth on the depth chart for a reason. He was the fifth-round pick. Fifth-round picks don't start in the NFL. Russell Wilson's a third-round pick. People point to Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott, that was out of necessity.
Tony Romo
was hurt.
Brock Purdy started because Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt.
Exactly. You go back to the Bucks in the 70s, the expansion Bengals in the 60s. That's the last time a quarterback drafted in 6 or 7 or 8 ever got to play. when he was given the opportunity, which is all you can ask for, he nailed it, and this week will be fascinating.
And so if you're Kevin Stefanski, and again, you're around that team all the time, like you know the dynamics. My understanding through the offseason was they truly wanted to watch all these guys. Is it probably Flacco? Maybe.
Yeah,
but
probably.
To get the credibility in your locker room, if somebody else outplays him, you start the guy who's going to give you the best chance. But it was going to be hard for both Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel to learn an NFL offense. They both had a long way to go in terms of that. How realistic is it here? Again, if Shedeur continues this over, and we'll see how they handle the joint practices in the game this week, how realistic is it to say they give actual consideration to starting Shedeur?
I think it is, and let's not aggregate this or clickbait this. I think it is happening. I think it is unrealistic. If you look at the Browns' schedule, it's home against Joe Burrow, on the road against Lamar Jackson, home against Jordan Love, on the road against Jared Goff, then home game in London against the Vikings, a well-rested Vikings team that would have played the week before in Dublin. Then no bye, and you come home on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, and they will be rested because they played week 4 in Dublin and are taking their bye week 5. That's a gauntlet. There's no way you're playing a rookie quarterback right out of the gate. It's just not going to happen. So in my eyes, it was always either Pickett or Flacco or Pickett. And